Hello, everyone. Today's workshop is about financial planning for later in life, making a plan for your money and assets. Today's workshop's objective is inventory your assets, set up beneficiaries, account for your family's needs, decide on health directives, discuss with your family. Things to know about estate planning. Know what is planned, create a will or a living trust, probate, advanced healthcare directive, and power of attorney. Estate plan. Why should I make an estate plan? Why is it important? What are some steps you can take to make sure your wishes and your family is taken care of in an emergency? What are examples of assets and liabilities? These are the type of questions that you need to ask yourself before planning. And inventory your assets. What resources do I have, such as car, home, other possessions, bank account, investment, and retirement or business? List of your liabilities could be your loans, such as car loan, home loan, or it could be personal loan. It could be your credit cards and line of credits and other debt that you are in. Beneficiary and shared bank account. Who has access to my assets? Bank accounts can also create share accounts. Retirement, you can put your spouse as 100% beneficiaries. Life insurance, you can put your spouse and your family member as a beneficiaries as well. And then also in an investment, you can put beneficiaries and you can join as a share account with your family. How to choose beneficiary. Section on bank account list beneficiaries. You may need to go online or file paper form. It may include your spouse's name, relationship, address, contact information, and their social security. That is for beneficiary section. Account for your family's need. There's one question that you need to ask yourself. What will happen to my assets and how can I support my family? Well, you can support your family by life insurance, well, also with a trust account. Life insurance. The insurer promises you to pay a sum of money to policyholders' beneficiary when insured person dies. So technically, let's say if you have a life insurance and God forbid if something happens to you, the insurer will promise you that they can pay some of your policy or some of your money for the person who is under your beneficiary if something happens to you. Benefit has fixed amounts, pay monthly or employer sponsor, must name who will receive the benefits, and average is about $26 per month. And if you want to see a life insurance calculator and comparison, there's a link underneath that you can visit, and it will help you out throughout the process, and it will calculate for you. A will. A will is a legal document, states your wishes regarding your assets, property, and the care of any minor children. So basically, a will is basically it's a legal document that is in the document states that if God forbid anything happens to you, what will happen to your property? Who will go to? Who can who like takes over your property? And what happens if you have a children or a child underage or a minor, they call it. Also, under will decides what happens to your assets, sets a guardian for your children. No will means court and judge will decide, and then also make it online or with a lawyer, the best way to do it. And that will stays with your lawyer when something happens to you. Health directive. Well, under health directive, there's another question that you need to ask yourself. What do I want my resources, or rather, how do I want my resources managed, and who can make decisions on my behalf? So let's say you have asset, you have bank account, you have investments, and there what you should decide who should make the decision on your behalf. Such as wishes for your medical care, healthcare power of attorney makes health and medical decision for you, and then also a power of attorney is a manage legal and financial decision if you cannot list in a living will. So under directive, advanced directive, basically under the umbrella is it's kind of like the healthcare, the power of attorney, DNR, and also donor registry enrollment form as well. A trust is a legal arrangement that allows you to transfer ownership of your assets to a trust account for management. So can still manage when alive, including instruction if you are unable to manage your assets. Easier to transfer and avoid court. Recommend for people with a lot of assets and also legal assistance to make. So now something that you should know about a living trust versus a will. A living trust is basically is there for you to avoid rebate, privacy, asset protection for beneficiaries, provide for distribution to beneficiaries over time. Will, probates require no privacy, sufficient attorney fees, and delay upon death, and no asset protection. So these are the difference between a living trust and a will. It looks for me that willing trust is more suitable than wills basically is there something that if God forbid happening after you, and so is the trust, but the trust is basically can protect your beneficiary and then also provides a distribution to beneficiaries over time. You should always discuss it with your family. Store all of your important documents in a very safe place. Documents that you should store in a very safe place, such as safe or a folder or somewhere that you feel that it's very it's a safe place, basically. Documents such as financial document, insurance policy, state plan, and also you should tell someone where they are located. Also, when you talk with your family, discuss your wishes and plan with your family. Revise as needed. So basically, after discussion, you want to go over your plan and see if there's any changes that you want to make. At the end of the day, it's a peace of mind for you guys that you don't have to worry about at the very last minute. Estate plan activity. So basically, there's step one. Step one is to write down all of your assets and liabilities. Your assets could be your vehicle, car, boat, motorcycle, etc. Your home or maybe your real estate, your collectibles if you are collecting any antique stuff, other positions, something that is left for you guys from your ancestors, bank accounts. If you have a lot of money in a bank account and if God forbid something happens to you, you need to take an action in regards to it, because if you don't, the money will sit at the bank and your other significants cannot even touch it, unfortunately. Your retirement as investments and your businesses, and your liabilities are your loans, such as your car loan, home loan, personal loan, student loan, or any other type of loan, credit card, or any other debt that you have. Step 2 is answering the following questions. Did you set a beneficiary for your assets? Basically, what that means is who would you like to receive these assets if something happens to you? You know, let's say that you have like I would say hypothetical. Let's say you have $50,000 in your bank account, or you have $75,000 worth of investments. All right, nobody predicts what happens in the future. So if God forbid something happens to you, who would you want to receive your money to? Your spouse, your parents, who? But you have to put that in a legal document, because God forbid if something happens to you and there's nothing legal document, banks or other investment companies, they cannot do anything about it, and the money just sits there. Your liabilities, the second question. Are any of these share accounts or accounts with a cosign? If yes, is that person aware of the account and remaining liabilities? So basically, any loan that you take out or any debt that you are on, make sure you want to share that with the family. Hey, listen, maybe you with your spouse, you would sit down with them and be like, hey, listen, I have these loans, I have these loan that is pending. So is there any way, please, you can help me out? Or if anything happens to me, can you make a monthly contribution for me, please? Step 3 is account for your family's need. By you doing that, you would need to answer the following questions. Do you have a wealth? Who you want your asset to go to? Who will care for your children? And the other question that you need to ask is, do you have a life insurance policy? Directives such as what type of a medical care do I want to receive in an emergency as you get older? Who would you like to make a medical decision on your behalf? Who would you like to make medical decision on your behalf? So basically, if God forbid, if something happens to you and you're at the hospital and the doctors be like, hey, listen, I want to operate on this person. Do I have your consent or do I have your permission? You should be able to make decision on behalf of your other significant. But before you do that, you have to put that in writing. And the other question that you need to ask yourself, do you have all your financial documents stored in a safe place and someone knows about it where they are? These are very important things that you have to be aware of. And then also, have you discussed your wishes and plans with your family? Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, these are very important because nobody predicts life. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Life and death is especially death is unfortunate to everyone, but hey, death is coming to every one of us. But you have to take care of your estate plans. Step 4, think about your answer from last slides. Honestly, what steps you can take for the next 2 to 3 months. For example, set a beneficiary in a bank account and get a life insurance policy. The next step that you can take in the next 6 months is meet with a lawyer and make a will. Put all your documents in one place and take and talk to your family about it. And then also, what additional information or support do you need? Do you feel you have a plan? What did we learn today? As I said on my previous slides, death is unfortunate to every human being. But to support our family, taking action towards your estate plan is very important. Put something in writing. So God forbid if anything happened to any of us, we have that in writing. Hey, when I'm not alive, I have this. Or God forbid, if you're in a very critical condition and somebody would have to make a decision on your behalf, doctors cannot do anything if there's no paper or there's no one can make any decision on your behalf. For any questions on what you learned today or other financial questions, contact a financial coach. And also, there are other useful workshops that are pre-recorded on our website, which is www.safeirc.org. Please visit our workshop, and there are a lot of useful information. Take advantage of that. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great evening.